Hello, Alive One. I am Candleate. I am gonna help you eat your snacks, not literally. Before we start, leave a comment to let me know which part of the living land you are listening from and what snacks are you eating now. Also give a like and subscribe if you are enjoying the stories. Now, prepare your snacks and relax. That night, rain poured relentlessly outside the campus dormitory, blanketing the world in blue. Inside one of the cramped rooms, a young man stared at his laptop screen, watching raindrops trail down the window beside him. His name is Henry, a college student majoring in baking and pastry arts. He had lived in the dorms for 2 years, but the constant noise from neighboring rooms had worn him down. Tonight, he had made a decision. He would find a new place to live. Henry knew students his age loved parties. He did too, but the chaos had become unbearable. Laughter, loud music, and thumping walls filled his nights with restlessness. He needed quiet, especially as he began planning for his future. Owning a bakery after graduation. Bathed in the dim glow of his laptop, Henry scrolled through real estate listings. He was searching not just for any house, but one he could settle into permanently. Renting wasn't enough. He wanted a place he could turn into a home and, eventually, a shop. But hours passed, and nothing seemed right. Frustrated, Henry grabbed his umbrella and stepped into the rain. He made his way to his favorite cafe, a quiet little place with warm coffee and better desserts. Tonight, he skipped the sweets and ordered only a hot cup of coffee. He watched the rain from the cafe window, trying to quiet the noise in his head. After returning to the dorm, Henry fell asleep quickly. The next morning came with routine. Classes, labs, baking. Time passed quickly when he was doing what he loved. That afternoon, he returned to his room and resumed the house hunt. As he absent-mindedly typed, the screen flickered. A different website popped up, one he'd never seen before. It featured only one listing. The house was everything Henry wanted. Close to campus, affordable, slightly aged, but solid. Without hesitation, he dialed the number. An elderly woman answered. She was delighted someone had finally called. "Thank you," she said. "I wasn't sure anyone would ever find it." They agreed to meet the next day at Henry's favorite cafe. After ending the call, Henry felt a sense of peace for the first time in weeks. The next day, Henry arrived early. He ordered coffee and dessert. When the woman entered, Henry recognized her from her voice. She joined him, and they finalized the deal with a handshake. She insisted on paying for the meal, grateful her old house would be lived in again. From the conversation, Henry learned that the old woman now lived in the cornfield. Later that day, the ownership transfer was completed. Henry was now the legal owner of the old White House. Friday morning, Henry had no classes. He hired a moving truck and set off for his new home. The house stood in a quiet, tightly packed residential area. White, aged but sturdy. It looked exactly as pictured. The movers unloaded his things, and Henry explored every corner of his new sanctuary. The wooden stairs creaked, and one window near the landing appeared cracked, but everything else felt right. Night came. As Henry fetched a glass of water, a loud slam echoed from the neighboring house. He jumped, startled, but when no other sounds followed, He dismissed it. On the second night, he heard typing. The rhythmic clack of an old typewriter carried through the walls. Odd, but tolerable. The third night brought music, a somber piano melody that drifted through the air like a lullaby from another world. Strange, but again, harmless. On the fourth night, a scream shattered the silence. A man's voice cried out for help. Alarmed, Henry feared someone was being hurt. He called the police immediately and gave them the address. But as he waited, the screams faded. Uneasy, Henry grabbed his stun gun and went to investigate. The neighbor's front door opened at his touch. Inside, the layout was identical to his own. The piano by the window, the same furniture, the same cracks in the wall. Heart pounding, he climbed the stairs. Everything mirrored his own home, down to the broken window pane. At the end of the hallway, he heard faint cries. He kicked open the door. Empty. Only a ladder leading to the attic. He climbed. At the top, he pushed open the door and stepped into the attic. Dust floated in the air. A rocking chair sat beneath a hanging rope. In the corner was an old typewriter, a sheet of paper still rolled into it. Henry approached and pulled the page free. His blood ran cold. The words on the paper described everything. His dorm search, his visit to the cafe, meeting the old woman, buying the house, the screams, the climb, standing here in the attic. Then, the attic door slammed behind him. He turned. It wouldn't open. The rope above the chair twitched. Music filled the space. The same piano melody from before. The typewriter began moving on its own, keys clacking, writing something new. Henry stared, frozen. The rope suddenly lunged toward him, wrapping around his neck. He struggled, gasping, trying to tear it away. But it pulled him upward, toward the chair. He was forced to stand on it, feet trembling. He screamed, begged for help. And then he remembered the sound from his first night here. The noise he'd thought was a door slamming. It had been a chair falling. Moments later, the police arrived. They had traced Henry's emergency call. But there were no neighbors. No matching houses. No piano. No cafe nearby. There was only one house at that address. An old white house, alone in an empty lot.